Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, gentlemen. How are you? I have no idea what you're seeing. And I would hope that you're seeing something that resembles my screen, but I have no idea. I'm experimenting, so please apologize in advance to you. I'm trying to work out how to do this. It's not very intuitive. It bundles Hangouts and all sorts of other things in. And I just want you to see charts, and I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. I do see myself, and that's looking straight back at me, and it's just very unintuitive about how you can potentially show your charts. So I might have to, that's not doing a screen share. Thanks, Alex. Yeah. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull it off. So what I might do as a result of this unsuccessful attempt to actually show you a chart is I will do a recorded chart side version. So just wanted to talk to everyone generally. I'll also have some of my group just coming on to say hi, premium guys. Yes, Stephen says there was a dip and a run the other way. Indeed. So what have I got to tell you? Well, I'm going to talk and get the chart up and talk to you about kind of what happened today a little bit. So it was a little bit intense and choppy. It got real tight. We knew something was going to go down. We were saying, is this the big move or is it not? And there was something that gave us some clue as to why it might be a frustrating potential day today. In other words, why it would start and feign like it's going to do what you expect it to do. And what am I talking about? Let's be clear what I'm talking about. Bitcoin USD. Bitcoin USD, God market crypto. Okay, so this is the big one. So 67 of you online, and we've got 9 likes. The rest of you hate me. Oh dear, I've got to stop doing this. People just don't want to know. Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, so while we're doing, keeping yourselves entertained, so with that BTC USD, what's really interesting is that there were a series of successive type DNA. So Zen, make sure you get all the premium guys on to give this update. We had an intense day today. I was posting like all the time because there was a feeling that there was some real good stuff to go down. It was getting super tight. Anthony Welfare, nice to see you. I hope you're having a good time there, London side. Mr. Retail and in crypto, they're worthy of a follow on Anthony Welfare. Go Google him. Pharaoh Evans, thank you. Pharaoh. Maybe I should do that. Pyramids. I'll get into trouble. Last time I had a T-shirt with an eye on it. It was my last time I visited Acapulco. It was an eagle's eye looking to the side. Guys freaked out. I think I turned to the dark side. Anyway, so what happened with Bitcoin today? And also the other ones we were watching, the big major alt Ethereum USD. So this is a retrospective. You could have got the whole, thanks for the likes, by the way. We boosted from 9 to 25. That's a whole bunch better. I appreciate it. Thank you. Help me, help you, all that good stuff. Jerry, do you remember who remembers the scene from Tom Cruise? And I'm trying to remember the actor was the footballer. Made him dance on the phone. Show me the money, show me the money. Anyway, less animation, Francis. Calm down, calm down. Take that caffeine out the system. Okay, so what happened today? So Bitcoin has actually done a repeat cycle of something for a bit now. And I will do this on the chart, YouTube, that will follow this. That'll be a recording. I'll Camtasia it. It'll be canned. I'll put the raw file straight away to my premium guys, but this one I'll let you guys see as well. This is just interesting, and it's a pattern, and it's something that repeated successfully, actually probably going on 4 times. Now, the idea of understanding and spotting that the structure that it created repeatedly is that it can give you the script in advance. So patterns are valuable because they repeat. And what happened, first of all, BTC, the lows from our 6,000, 6,500 capitulation, just above 3,000, sort of 3,120s, depending on your exchange, 3,200s, all the way down. Then we got a very lopsided inverted head and shoulders, and that had a big left shoulder, a sell-off, the final low in, which is your inverted head, and I'll recap this on the charts if in case you're getting confused, and then it had quite an accelerative up. So this was kind of in a state of oversold. It was due rally season. It had dumped 3,000 plus dollars, and it had done it in very short time frame. It was a proper puke to the downside, projectile vomit, and now there was a little bit of overpent buyback, dip buying elements that came through. So what ended up happening is pumped up really strongly with high volume and quite steeply. So it makes quite a lopsided inverted head and shoulders, quite steeply. Got to the magical number, I'll tell you about it now, and it is 3.5K, and it dipped very small for a tinier, a much more petite, let's put it, right shoulder, which it did. And actually it had small time frame scale upside HVF in it, and that relative high 3 and low 3, it's the relative bits that are important to us. If you don't understand HVF theory, don't worry about it. And it gave a layer of 3,500 to 3,550. That's kind of like, you know, when you get, if you go to Moab in the US and you get the rock that has been hard and the rock that has been soft, you kind of get that seam that sticks about and is really hard and everything erodes around it. That's kind of a zonal layer that's quite tough, and it had to wind up, and then it smashed over it. The minute it smashed over it, it exhausted a bit back and came back and bounced on it. So this is showing you key level. Then it gave us our first overall fractal. It's a series of pattern-based events, which I'll describe in the charts on. I can't get into too much detail here because I'm going to be drawing too much with my fingers, and you're going to think it's the deaf, dumb, and mute conference going on here. So I'll just broadly describe a series of events that had various fractals in it that continued to repeat, and then it threw it down. That was the beginning of a new version, and it did the exact same and set up again, and then it threw it down, and then it did the exact same. Now, the first time when it threw it down, it stopped just before the 3,550, then it went into its next version of the same, then it threw it down, then it came into that thick layer of rock, think of it like that, of support. So there's been continual support at that 3,500K level up to about 3,550. This time it touched it, and then it did a third version of the cycle. Then it threw it down again, and this time it actually poked through the 3,500. So not only did it take the 3,550, but it put a toe over the 3,500. So we saw a 3,490, whatever. Variations by exchange. So I'm not going to be hyper accurate about something that's approximate depending on where you are. And then it once again did it. This time it was a slightly smaller version, but exactly a mini-me. It did the ups, the downs, the squeezes at the exact same time. And then we threw it down. And then we were in this little part that always occurred after a throwdown. Really low vol, and then a final little dip. Now, actually, this is a smaller version and a concentrated, so everything's happening further. So it did the dip that follows the mini, and it did a major reversal back up. And it visited a low, which had been on a plane all the way along, from above the 3,550s, 3,600s this side, to grinding below the 3,500s here. And each time it's touched what I'll call my dashed blue line. And you'll see this on when I do the recorded chart version of it. And what have we then had? A little bit of a bump. In other words, what we're seeing in cryptos is often when you get a plunge dip, so just be careful of my phraseology, so you don't confuse it. A plunge or a dip candle, you often then get pushback. If it's not the main break, you're getting a lot of fake breaks, and you get a rally back up, and then you actually get another way, the other way, a spike. So spike for upside, dip for downside, so that you know what I mean in terms of phraseology. So you get the spike. And what actually tends to happen is even the spike then fizzles, either immediately or over time, and then it ends back up in that range. So it's a very frustrating market to trade, particularly if you like breakouts and you're trading breakouts. So you've got to always take one as this could be it. Runs a key level, you take the plunge, you're looking for a number of things. On our Ethereum USD, we're looking for head and shoulders on a key level. Bitcoin, we're wondering if a grand macro will reassert, because we've had a big second interim made on this huge target. And remember, I've done a little work about BTC's structure on that big 6.5 failure against pound, euro, and gold. And this, my premium guys are well aware of, and we've shared the charts many times, and I'll do a quick flyby on that for everybody there. But the interesting part of all of this and what happened today is this 3.5 zone, we're trying to hang and hold this level. And Bitcoin, since its big rally, which had what we call a Hunt's trumpet, it was going up, but it was having ever wilder swings. Since the end of that, it's been in this kind of holding, where the 3.5 is the horizontal hard level, and it's actually in a broad dark blue channel that's going slightly down. And now it's just violating it and trying to smell if it's good for going out into the cold, and then scurrying back up. So it's very, very tough on the breakout traders, and very good generally in most instances if you buy and trade what it's called kind of like an IGROC level. It's trading to the level. So you buy the extremities of the dip once it's clear that it's no longer going down, and then it goes up. Now, personally, I'm not doing that. Why? Because I'm bear or square, but I do sell the spikes. So this helps give me clarity. If you try be all things to everything, you end up getting what I call time frame confusion and major big bias. You start trading against your major big bias, and that's not wise. So bear or square is clever because you eliminate something. You say, I'm never going long this market. I'll watch it go up, and I have the patience and the discipline to stay out because I am afraid and fearing the reassertion of the big move that could be doubly damaging. But when we get the spikes, you can, once you wait for it to start seeing that it's got give back in it, it dribbles back down a lot. So we have done a little bit of early entries at very good levels. Once it's clear, it's no longer asserting. And generally, there's very little follow through to the impulsive moves until it changes. And I expect that moment until it changes to be the one that's on the downside. And if it isn't, that's fine. I'm going to be wrong at the end, and that will just be a signal. Okay, maybe we're wrong now to be bear. Has it invalidated any key levels that it set on the way down? Maybe it's time to be square or mild bull. We haven't had that moment on the bigger time frames. That's your daily and 4 hourly. So we keep on mining the downside until the market tells us it's no longer a profitable thing to do. So that's what terminology and phraseology and tactical stuff. The other element that's a little bit difficult to say, and I've been kind of warning my premium guys a little bit about it, and I'll let you have this, but it's very, very dangerous, and you have to be very strict and disciplined. Otherwise, you will get caught out and raped. So the thing is, if you help trading and putting your stops always in, you will be scalping losses with this kind of market. So you've got to be small, and you've got to be awake and alert at these key tricky moments when it's squeezing, and then be ready to close manually. Now that means you have mental stops and you have elements, and your mental stops can even be run, but often you can get out, if you're wrong, a whole bunch better when they do give back. So it's a dangerous place to be. And sizing is really, really important, because if you start doing what I am saying I have done, which is on the surface twitchy. On FX, I'd never do it. With leverage, FX, traditional markets, stops are always in. I'm such a mouse, no one's going to care. On cryptos, you've got to watch it. People can see, and there are pockets of absence. There's a lot of robot volume, and there's real gaps, and you can be found hunting. Even if with moderate size, people will find interest in you up there, or the machine is trading in a way that it is searching out people that have pending orders. So it'll get super, super tight, and actually it'll plunge, trigger a bunch of orders and create activity, come back up and spike, trigger a bunch of orders and create activity, and end up pretty much back where it was. Now, that's suspicious to me, because it's probably sniffing. Now, I don't want to be conspiratorial about that, but I think if there's not much action at the level, and there's clearly people that are indicating where they would get interested, markets are not necessarily naturally balanced by the supply and demand. They can push towards the extremes as well, if all the interest is at those extremes. So just watch it with your pending orders and how much you open your hand. And even if you say you're using Bitfinex and it says hide, it hides it maybe to the other people a bit. It doesn't hide it, in my opinion, although I have no news on that, from the bots and the exchange owner. So you don't get full protection if you want to go incognito with popping your pending orders in. So I'm doing, even though as I teach, most things should be done pending, stops should always be in, take profit should be always in. In times like this, I've adapted slightly to the nature of the market. Hello from Dubai, accumulating crypto since 2012. Well done, super hot. Org Foundation, nice one. Bart Simpson is the biggest BTC versus, can't quite see the right-hand side. I don't know why YouTube does that. Lovely to see you again, Jay. Thank you, and same to you. Tim, ration backspread. Francis, any opinion on CND? Very little. I know less. I can almost guarantee you, Tim, I know less about it than you. So here's the thing. Here's where I channel my energy during this period in the market. Price behavior, price behavior, price behavior. Reading white papers on new ICOs right now, not on. Could I be missing something absolutely awesome and great? Quite possibly. Sometimes some of the best things are born in one of the worst markets. I remember Dimension Data in South Africa, which was a huge tech stock, was born in the 1987 crash. These things happen all the time. There might be some real legit stuff trying to get to market in ICO. I'll find out in time when the market and the early adopters start recognizing it with cash and capital. It starts climbing into the coin market cap and it makes it into the top 10. Till then, I don't need to be there. Will I have the first bit of the growth? Maybe even on the first bit where it does almost 100x? No, but there's plenty of action for me with liquidity where I want to be. That's how I frame. That doesn't mean it's the only way to frame, but it's how I frame. So any new ICOs coming in here, I mean, I'm just not particularly invested in finding out how and when they're going to do. So if you ask me about small outside of the top 10, and in fact, even if you ask me about the top 10, there will be better informed people on the crypto front. I'm interested in seeing what print they lay in terms of money tree backing. The final proof is, where's the money? Follow the money. Follow the money, and that shows in the charts. And at the moment in bear season, I'm looking for the biggest dogs that still have decent market cap for liquidity for shorting. So in bear season, I want to buy a short. For example, some of our guys have done some great work and actually found long upside setups on our premium view. For example, Chain, beautiful setup, gone up. We've got another one I can't tell you about. It's still live. Out of fairness to the guys in the community, I really like it. I've left positive comments. This is against BTC, and it's a small coin, beautifully set up for one upside. But I think you're looking for panning for gold, you know, in a field of fertilizer when most of what's around you is crap. I'd rather sell fertilizer when the bulk of the field is crap. The fact that there might be the odd nugget of gold or diamond in there is great. When I'm in the gold and diamond fields, I'm not selling fertilizer anymore. I'm panning for the valuable stuff and looking to sell gold and silver. So that's how I frame. So overall bear market, mainly looking square and bear, square and bear. One activity that is fertile broadly, for which there should be many opportunities, rather than looking for the one shining diamond that's really going to shine maybe against BTC. But then if BTC drops 66% and trades 1,250, it's maybe held its own or only lost a third of its value. How does that help me make money if I could have just had it all in fiat and not lost a third of my value while BTC lost 2/3 of its value? So you've got to benchmark on fiat in the bear and on BTC in the bull. And we're still in the bear. Okay, so hopefully that just explains framing, how you should frame, be clear on what you want to do and what season you're in. In winter, sell snow to Eskimos, you know, because there's lots of it about. So NCA and TNB are about to Jesus candle, says somebody. Superheat Org for Foundation. He's looking active. Francis Factum, it's going to do great. Maybe. I haven't looked at a chart on Factum for a while. Did trade it very early in the bull market. Crypto Fat, Francis, do you think there's connection between traditional and crypto markets? What will the equity crash mean to cryptos? Good question. So Crypto Fat. So here's my take. One of the things that may lead to BTC taking a complete dump is the possibility that we could also have a contraction of liquidity generally across the globe in other ways. If we go into some form of reset, equities popped out of its rising wedge to the upside and now having a down day. Could it be the beginning of the next rollover down, or is it just calming after having done quite a good recovery? Time will tell, but if we go into full bear there's lots of stinky little fish that have to come out of the equity markets, lots of excessive leverage. All of these elements are there. Anurang Sharma, Program for Poor People. Beg, borrow, and steal and listen to the free content. There's quite a good value on there. We've going to start releasing now the free mini series, which will have a small element of value there for you. It's going to be useful, but it's for free. So, it's conceptual, principle, and then there's one with a bit of charts that talks about why the volatility. So I'm afraid, you get what you pay for, but that's entirely free and will help you in terms of principles and where we go. Which is an easier market for traders, equity or crypto? I'm enjoying the crypto markets. I'm doing well in the crypto markets. Note, that doesn't mean winning every time. But the last big drop from 6.5 pays for so many early entries that you get wrong. It was very profitable. It was a big move. Talking about a 50% move. We had a target. We got our target. We stayed short. It's good when you get a $3,000 move on something and it lose 50%. In the equity markets, I can tell you it didn't happen that many times that I shorted for in excess of 50% market cap. I did actually do a 75% on Gulf Sands Petroleum after a friend of mine called it long. That was also a technical analyst. So just to upset him, I decided it was going to go the other way and said it'll probably lose 75% market cap. And that one did come. And I think it took about 18 months to get there. And then there's now a penny stock. So we have had some success, but that's a big ass call that took really long to come about. Massive inverted HVS structure. So, it's not every market that you can even have a smidgen of margin, not ridiculous margin, like 3x on Bitfinex, and get huge moves. And actually, if we go to 1,250 from 3.6-ish, you've lost 66%, 1.2 to 3.6. So that's it. Johan Buerto, lekker mee Opel, gaan het samen met u. Hi Francis, do you mainly Bitfinex? So I have a number of platforms, but the one I enjoy using, I know all the drama and all the rumors and all of that. They seem to be batting on. Tether's still there. USD True Dollar's still there. That doesn't mean that it's not a stinky fish. It just means the stinky fish hasn't died yet or gone full rot. So I'm happy because I like the platform best. I'm playing the Chinese-US tension, says Humi. Buy a lekker, says Johan. Yeah, good for you, mate. Play safe over the SA side. Diversify. Valuable Knowledge Group, free on YouTube. Yes, I do a fair amount free. What else have we got? Someone wants to say it's 666. I'm not sure what he's on about. So that's the thing. So that's Bitcoin, and then you've got to look up at the other major alts. So if Bitcoin does have a throwdown, remember, if we were to get a 66% loss, and this is if it's a possibility, not necessarily a foregone probability, we could have already done the bottom. We don't know. We're waiting to see if it's going to go faller. If it doesn't and it pauses at the low and then refuses and double bottoms and then comes bouncing back real strong, and then we have a W bottom, and then that W bottom starts pounding it up, we revert bull. But for the big time frame, it's still out there and that possibility still exists. So watch it. Nice to see you, KC. Bitfinex has got good liquidity as well and the margin. It's a good combination. Be very wary of BitMEX. I never understood it. I tried it. I never fully understood it. And in truth, I didn't have a great deal of success trading on it because it was difficult. I only went there when I was super sure. And when I was super sure, I was often wrong. So, that's the nature. When I'm conservatively optimistic, but still aware of the risks, is usually when we trade well. So BitMEX didn't work for me, and I didn't use the 100x. But even the higher margins and the whole thing that they can close you out even when you're making more money because the other guys are losing too much money. It's a derived market. You're not actually owning and buying the individual coins. You are trading the equivalent of like CFDs on equities. It's a derived market. And I actually I've got some trolls that hate me, and one of them lost a bunch on BitMEX. He went early on. We just don't recommend it, especially for someone who's new and learning trading. And this guy's got bile in him to end all bile. Unfortunately, I don't take your trades. I don't even take any money to manage from people. I do only my own trading, and I show you how I implement the method, and I teach the method. And if you go and shoot yourself in the head, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a whole bunch. So watch out for that. You've got to be mature and own your own outcomes. And you've got to avoid excessive leverage. Leverage just makes more volatile in you. It increases the volatility of your experience. And what you actually need is to calm the hell down more when the markets are getting volatile. If you can be more calm and less volatile than the market's overall aggregates volatility, you're going to be successful in trading. If you're the same or more, you're going to be FOMOing in and panicking out like a headless chicken, and you're going to need method. Watch. Some guys are deeply concerned about BitMEX, and they may well be right. Thank you, Mr. Hitch. I appreciate you. And what else have we got? Good entry points. Altcoin dude. Deribit works like and I'm just missing the final word. Craig Neve. Yes. Born in Kaapstad, Opel. D.O. Kaapstad. Not the right in the city, Somerset West, if you want to know. Hottentots Hollands Hospital, it was scandalously delivered by a colored person, which I'm quite proud of, and in those days didn't tend to happen in apartheid South Africa, but survived all the better for it, and quite happy that it was so, with a European mum and dad, so it was all good with us. What can I say? Any other questions for you before I'll sign off? I'll do a short record, Camtasia, on the chart things. I haven't done something for Crypto Sniper in a while, so you get a little bit of a gift and a view. Love to come to New Zealand. Craig. Amazing country, proper lads who play their rugby proper. They get on with it. They're not crybabies. Beautiful country. Actually got a guy I ride with who's gone out Kiwi Landway. He's loving it, and he's probably going to decamp to New Zealand if you can con your immigration into letting him in. But a good guy as well, good businessman and all of that. So you might be getting some quality guys coming your way. They respect New Zealand. Thanks again for the insights. Pleasure. Dylan Robertson, nice. Phil Kogan, don't forget to click the like button. Thank you, Phil. Phil's a good guy. He's like my cheerleader. He's right in there. Hey, you guys better show some respect to the sniper. You better click some likes, and you better share this to your buddies. Otherwise, I'm going to come and get you with my bat, and I'm going to do you right. You can't just take free shit all the time, man. You got to give some back. You hear me? I wonder if I could pull off a taxi driver, Robert De Niro taxi driver, minus the hair. Good stuff. Holochain for sure, says Iki. I put a spell on you. Yes, good indeed. Maybe that's why I'm acting so weird. Guys, wait for the recording. I'll do the chart. You'll see what actually went down on the charts. It might give us a little clue. This is what we do in the premium area. We're just giving you a little leak and to see how we've been analyzing it retrospectively now. And it might give you a little clue of what's coming. We'll be watching it. We were intense today. The coffee was kicking, and we were hoping that it was going to be the big move. My suspicion is the next big trade. This is what my suspicion is, and I'm ready to be proven wrong. It's not about being right or wrong. It's accuracy or inaccuracy, as far as I'm concerned. Is that we should? The next big move is probably for me, and as I say, I might just switch perma bear and need to just change the lever, but it's probably going to be a downside. So I'm looking for a nice juicy trade to the south side at some point. So I have my bear bias, and I'm waiting to weigh it in. But I want to be strong, but at the same time, I want to choose the entry really carefully so I don't get killed. So I'll lean on it if it keeps giving me and showing me the DNA that I want. That's it. When wrecked, I don't know. We're trying hard not to get wrecked, my channel. But those that don't do their money management, those that lose their heads, those that think they can't be wrong, those that talk in imperative. What's your language? Don't talk in imperatives. It's absolutely, definitely the moment it dies, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt because when you're thinking like that, you closed your mind to the possibility you could be wrong. And that means you don't notice the signs that you are wrong until a lot later. And then by then the pain is off the roof. So try not get wrecked. The worst thing that happens is wrecked. We try, part of our job is to try help in our premium community guys from getting excessively wrecked. Your experience will see losses. Managing your losses is the game. Managing your losses, not your profits. Profits actually can look after themselves when you have method. Managing that you never take outsized losses keeps you in the game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. On that big note, we are doing webinar on the 30th You can register on themarketsniper.com if it suits you, if you think trading may be for you, and if you own your own outcomes. It's not for people that are going to cry foul and said, but you said. You've got to own your own outcomes. If you win, all credit to you, even if it's an idea from somewhere else. And if you lose, own it and make sure it's not an oversized loss. That's my big final message. Watch out for the chart share. I'll try work out how to do this properly, that we can actually go live and do a chart thing. But I've got to also look after my premium guys. So I'm going to call it a day now, and I'll do a YouTube for you that will be recorded on the back of this. Allow some time finalization and upload. So see you on the webinar if it works, if it suits. Otherwise, play safe, get what you can for free from everyone, try everything, play small, pay your school fees and your university fees in pennies, not pounds. Now's not the time to mortgage your home and go big. You aren't a legend yet. There's always time to add size. Learn small, lose a burger, make a beer, etc. And get the principles. Once you got principles, you can always add juice. Okay, bye for now, guys. See you on the webinar or see you on the other side of the Crypto Sniper channel. And play safe during the week. Love you all. Bye.